Awesome, awesome. Okay, jumping right in. So today's agenda, again, we're going to do some introductions. We'll talk about the importance of a compelling pitch deck, tips for a compelling pitch deck, and overall presentation. We're going to share the HumanBulb pitch deck template, which is a template for the larger Startup World Cup, and some examples. Then we'll leave time for Q&A. I did just want to make an announcement that the pitch deck is not a requirement for our virtual pitch series. It's only 2 minutes. Don't want to have people dealing with building a pitch deck and technology and everything. But we're doing this because this is a requirement for the Startup World Cup. And as we mentioned, whoever wins our pitch competition next Tuesday will get a secured spot at the Startup World Cup, and you will need a pitch deck for that. So that's why we're doing a session on building a pitch deck. But just preface that, don't worry about getting a pitch deck together for next Tuesday. But we're going to talk today just about why it's so important. So about Grid110. Grid110 is an economic and community development nonprofit dedicated to creating clear pathways to success for early stage entrepreneurs. And so through our free cohort-based accelerator programs and events, we provide founders with a growing community of fellow entrepreneurs, expert mentorship, and critical resources. And our mission is to foster the most thriving, inviting, and inclusive community for entrepreneurs. We believe that anyone with the goal of becoming an entrepreneur should have the chance to pursue it and receive additional support along the way. And our work impacts individuals who are often overlooked by traditional entrepreneurial ecosystems. And that's what drives us to make the entrepreneurial path more equitable, inclusive, and accessible. So as mentioned, my name is Marley Crow, and I would love if Maya and Ali could introduce themselves as well.
Yes, thank you, Marley. Hi, everyone. My name is Maya, and I'm the marketing lead at Grid110. Super excited to have you all here to chat through decks. Our events are one of the really awesome ways that we get to provide free resources like this to folks everywhere, given that it's virtual. So excited to have you here, whether you're a returning attendee or a new one. And I'll pass it over to Ali.
Thanks, Maya. Hi, everyone. I'm Ali Zafiris. I'm the Director of Operations here at Grid110. Yeah, super excited to be continuing this series and talk about pitch decks today. Yeah, and nice to see so many familiar but also new faces in the crowd. I'll hand it back to Marley.
Awesome. Can you guys hear me? Okay, awesome. Sorry, I went out for a little bit. And then I did get a question in the chat. So we did select the 15 people that are pitching next Tuesday, and we will be sending out the people this afternoon. And I will let you know either way. I don't want anyone to be working on pitch deck and they weren't selected. So this afternoon, we will let you know if you were selected to pitch at the pitch competition. As I mentioned, we're having pitch practice on Thursday. So we will be giving preference to people that were selected for them to have a chance to pitch. And then if we have time, anyone is welcome to pitch and get feedback. And then the official competition is next Tuesday. So either way, I encourage everyone to participate in the series, join the pitch practice, join the competition, so you can learn from other people. My pitch and my confidence in my business has only gotten better from seeing other people do what's right and learning from others. So I, don't want to lose people along the way just because they weren't selected. So please join us for the rest of the series, but you will be getting an email this afternoon letting you know either way. So just wanted to say that. So moving on, I'm still screen sharing, right? Okay. About HumanBulb. So yeah, HumanBulb is a nonprofit organization with a mission of unleashing innovation through equity-focused innovation, entrepreneurship, education, and acceleration programs for youth and professionals. And so HumanBulb has partnered with Startup World Cup to organize multiple regional competitions in 2024 in the US and internationally. And regional competition winners go on to compete in the global grand finale semifinals and final in San Francisco, competing against the winners of 70 regional competitions around the world for a $1 million investment prize. So as I mentioned, whoever wins this pitch competition gets a secured spot in the regional competition. If you win the regional competition, you go on to the semifinals. you win the semifinals, you go on to the final. And if you win the final, you win $1 million. And I've seen the applicants, and I really think we have a winner on this call. I feel really good about you guys. So I'm excited, and we want that winner to come from Grid110. We want them to come from LA to rep the set. So this is exciting. So I would love for the HumanBulb team to introduce themselves and share a little bit more about the Startup World Cup competition.
Hi, I'm Charlotte Danielson. I'm the founder of HumanBulb. And I've actually been part of the Startup World Cup since 2018. The competition started in 2017, and it is the largest startup competition in the world, which is super cool. And they're having probably, the number keeps increasing, but I think we'll be around it'll be over 70 regional competitions this year. And so whoever wins this Orange County Regional goes on, that when Marley mentioned the semifinals and finals, that's all in the same 3 days. So the 2nd of October through the 4th of October, whoever wins this competition in Orange County, LA, goes on to compete against the other 70 during this 2nd, 3rd, and 4th of October. And you get to pitch on stage for 1 minute, whether you're the top 10, they choose a top 10 during that 3-day process during the first 2 days. And those that are selected in the top 10 get to pitch for 4 minutes and are still in the running for the $1 million. But even the ones who don't get in the running for that part, and obviously there's a lot of great companies at that point from all over the world. They get to pitch for 1 minute in front of the same audience of over 350 investors or so, and a bunch of corporate potential partners and everything. So it's huge exposure anyway, and media exposure. So that's great. The application for the Orange County competition, as Marley mentioned, Grid110, we're working collaboratively to get one secured spot for the Orange County LA competition that's happening on April 30th at UCI, at the Cove, the Beal Applied Innovation Center. And the application deadline in general for Startup World Cup for that competition is April 15th. So this gets you one secured spot for sure, because we wanted to make sure we had someone from Grid10 at least on there. But that doesn't mean that there can only be one company from Grid110. There will only be one chosen through this process, but make sure you're applying as well through the Startup World Cup direct competition before April 15th, so that you have multiple ways to try and get in there, because we were looking through the applications and there isn't just one great company here. So we will be choosing one through this, but just because you don't get chosen in this doesn't mean that you wouldn't have a chance to be a Orange County LA regional finalist. So make sure you do that. I'll actually put the address where you sign up in the chat, and also come and attend for sure, so that you can see what the competition's like. You learn so much from watching other founders. The more you can watch companies pitch, the more you kind of learn and get the background for it, and your own pitch gets better. I think that's actually the best way of learning. So please do that. And we're really excited about this. We love this partnership with Grid110. And let me introduce Imelda from our team as well.
Thanks, Charlotte. Hi, everyone. Welcome back. Welcome to the newbies too. My name is Imelda Martinez. I'm the Director of External Relations at HumanBulb. Very excited to learn about the pitch decks today and for you to get the content, and it's going to be imperative moving forward. So excited.
Awesome. I'm so excited. And yeah, just want to echo again. So the winner of this pitch competition, pitch series, gets a secured spot, but anyone can apply to be at that regional competition. So take what you learn. I said, if you don't win the pitch competition, that just doesn't mean you're out. You can still apply. And so take that feedback, take everything you've learned in this process, and we encourage you apply. And also you kind of have a leg up, because we see the names that have joined. We've seen your application. So when you apply, they might say, hey, they didn't win, but I remember that company, so you kind of already have a leg up with the with the HumanBulb team just by participating in this series. So she just dropped it. And I just want to share that the winner, again, gets a secured spot. That pitch competition is April 30th at UCI. So we wanted to give you enough time to prepare your pitch for that. And so you have time to prepare your application, and then the winner has time to prepare their final pitch. So exciting, exciting. We're going to jump right in. So today we're talking about building a compelling pitch deck. Just like the importance of it, just some high-level bullet points. Again, a pitch deck, it's a concise presentation offering insight into your business for potential investors, partners, stakeholders. I think, as Charlotte mentioned, at the Startup World Cup, there's been the CEO of LinkedIn, the CEO of Netflix, there's investors, people who haven't won the actual competition have still got investment. So having your pitch deck perfect, you never know who's in the room and who will see that. And if one investor doesn't believe in your vision, you don't know who will, right? And so the deck enhances and supplements your verbal pitch by providing visual context and clarity. And so a compelling pitch deck can make a strong first impression or a bad first impression. You might hear a great pitch, but then if their deck is all over the place, that could be an indication like, wow, so definitely, it makes that strong first impression and captures the attention of the audience. And it should effectively communicate your value proposition, the problem the company is solving, and the solution it offers. So you just never want someone to walk away from your pitch and they're just like, wait, what are they doing? What is their company again? So just make it very, very clear. Here is the problem. Here is the solution. Here is our product. Here is our business. We are this. We do this way, and know and remember what you do. Selling pitch deck. If you join, but they go hand in hand because you're pitching and you're presenting a strong first impression. We talked about compelling statistic, 44 of a homeless person. That I always think about those sad puppy dogs in the pound, and that's that pound, into that dog. So maybe that could be a testimonial. So you just never know who's in the room. And with knowing your audience, knowing what is important to them. Again, investors, they want to know how you're making money. You might have the best and most amazing thing, and you might be saving the children. But if I invest $1 million, how am I going to get my $1 million back? Like, that's just like, that they want to know that. So share your revenue, share your traction, share how many subscribers you've got, and share how many people, are on your wait list. So definitely just know your audience. Be clear and concise. So the pitch deck does not need paragraphs, high level insights, very clear pictures, very clear graphs. You shouldn't be reading off your pitch deck. Again, it's there to supplement your voice pitch. So very clear, very concise. You're on each slide for a couple seconds. You have 2 to 4 minutes to pitch. Not ours, but at the larger one, you might have up to 4 minutes to pitch. You're flipping through. We don't have time to be reading large paragraphs or to be cluttered with all these pictures and all these designs. We're going to share some examples today. And one of the ones I thought was really strong, it was just a very clean white pitch deck, clear icons, things are bolded, it's formatted. I need to just be able to look quickly and, oh, she said that this is the product and here's a demo. Very simple. She said they're helping hungry children. I'm seeing a picture of hungry children. It's clicking, like make it clear, make it concise. Again, tell a compelling story. It all should flow together. Starting here with, here's the statistic, here's the problem, here's the solution, here's what we're doing, and this is why you should join us in feeding the country. It's a story. I followed you all the way through, and now I know why I want to invest in your company. Again, clearly demonstrate your value proposition. Be, as I'm going to keep saying, very clear on the problem and the solution. Because I've watched a lot of pitches, even with some of the stuff they shared, and I've gone through the whole pitch deck, and I still can't tell you what they do. Like I can't tell you what they do and what the solution is. I mean, it sounds great, but and I always say, like, explain it like a 5-year-old, because there's some people, like, they have all these technology and it's a platform that uses AI to do this and this, and I'm an old school millennial. I'm just like, give it to me straight. Like, what is it? What does it do? So very clear, bare bones. What is the problem? What is the solution? So that is, I'm just going to keep saying that. Again, use your visuals wisely, incorporating high quality images, charts, graphs, but not too much. This isn't a business presentation as far as like at your job or something. Not too high level. Like sometimes I see people put like a whole spreadsheet on there. Some people aren't technical, like a very easy bar graph that's showing growth, icons, things like that. So use it to illustrate your points, to tell, add color to your story, but use it wisely. Ask yourself, is this really necessary? Am I just trying to throw things in? Be authentic and passionate, especially when you're pitching. I think the people that, when they have a story, when you can really resonate with them and that you can tell this is passionate and it started from where you saw a gap, that's so important. So be authentic, be passionate, and with your business, because if you don't care, why should I, and why should I invest? Be prepared for questions, concerns, and objections. You might have put the best pitch together. You might put the best pitch deck. There's always going to be that devil's advocate in the room. There's always going to be that person that's going to be like, well, why didn't you think about this? Or have you been that? And so I always say, use AI to your advantage. I love ChatGPT. Like, we're like this. I'm on there at least every day, rewriting emails, asking to do this. And I think it would be really cool to, if you have your pitch written out, you could paste it into ChatGPT and say, what kind of questions should I expect from investors based on this pitch? And you can just keep refreshing it, and it's going to keep giving you new questions so you can be prepared, so you never want to get tripped up on, oh, I didn't think about that. So that's something you can ask ChatGPT, or you can ask ChatGPT, give me feedback on my pitch. What kind of visuals should I use? You can have ChatGPT build you the whole outline for the pitch, based on your idea, but I think that goes back to number 7 about being authentic. I love AI, but I use it so much now that I can tell when other people are using it. So I use it as a guide, but still add your own sauce to it. So don't just let, AI create your whole pitch deck. You can create an outline or a structure, but still put your own pizzazz on it. Again, end with a strong call to action. Join us in revolutionizing the shopping experience. Join us in ending hunger. Join us in ending, trafficking. End it with a call to action. I love on pitch decks when they'll be like, join us, question mark, or, like that could be a slide. Join us or help us do this. Help make, hairstylists understand their finances. That should be the last slide. So it's like, bring it back to what you're doing. And then again, practice. Just again, a tip I shared last time, record yourself, play it, listen to it over and over, get feedback from your friends, practice it. Instead, ask ChatGPT. There is also like a lot of AI tools where I guess they can give you real-time feedback, but definitely practice. So just to get your nerves out, I think a thing too is just like, do your kumbaya, do your shakes, just get it all out so you're not messing up on your words and stuff. But just practice so you can come across as confident as possible. So we're going to jump right into the pitch deck template. So I will also again be sharing this, but so this is like, pretend this is the pitch deck now. First slide should be your logo, your company name, the founder or founders, if there's more than one, and your HQ city. So, Marley Crow, my business is actually called C-Suite, and my HQ city is Los Angeles. Now I'll put my logo here. Again, problem statement, clearly state the problem your startup is trying to solve. Easy. It could be a statistic. It could be not too wordy. Again, this should be the clearest thing that they understand, because I think when people understand the problem, they're going to think about you with solution. So if they know it and you're saying this is the problem, my company solves it, it's gonna match up. So I just can't emphasize how important it is to clearly state the problem, but also state your solution. How is your startup trying to tackle the problem? If you have a demo of your product or your technology, especially if it's technology or app or something, or snapshots of it, or this is where you can use icons or get an image of, if it's a delivery app, you can get a picture there of a delivery driver and say, we use AI to make delivery easier, whatever. Provide a clear solution to the problem you just stated. Your business model or your plan. How do you generate revenue? Is there membership packages? Is it, subscription based, membership based, sign up, cost of goods sold? Like, kind of just explain briefly. Now, don't put your whole business plan here, but we are a subscription based model that charges $500 per person to do XYZ, and we plan to scale to 3 cities in 3 years. Something very simple, right? Your business model and your plan. And like I said this in our last session of letting your business plan guide you. So if you have a business plan, it's already right there, right? And your executive summary and your business model. So just have that guide you. Traction, if applicable. I did hear a lot of people. I understand there's a lot of early stage entrepreneurs here, so you might not have traction yet. But this is where I said you could say we have 500 people on our wait list. We have 500 subscribers, email subscribers. We have 200 downloads. We already have a partnership, or we did a try run with City of LA, or if we get this funding, we are projected, and I'll show you, someone showed in one of the pitch decks I'll share later for 2023, they had $0 of revenue for 2023, but they showed that how they would scale, what the revenue would look like in future years. That really stood out to me. So this is the traction. Market size. So someone had, is the TAM, TOM, sum, so like total applicable market. I'll drop a link into there, but that's something you could include. But that just shows of, like, for example, if you have an advertising company, you can show how much people are spending on advertising. You could show, if you were able to start your business, what that would look like, with restrictions. So I found a good article on HubSpot about how to calculate that and stuff. So I will drop that in. But yeah, market size, or you could just say, it could also, again, be a statistic. If you have a beauty company, you could say, the Black beauty industry is $2 trillion. We could capture X percent of that industry, so things like that. Competitive analysis, so direct and indirect competition. I always think this is important because you're not reinventing the wheel. 9 times out of 10, someone else is doing something very, very similar. There's probably someone out there doing it. You really need to differentiate how you're different and what makes you different. So how can your startup compete and win against the competition? Show your team and their qualifications, experience, education, really just like I'll show you, but someone has a picture of themselves, what school they went to, what makes them qualified to join their team. Oh, they came from a big tech company, or I know someone that has like a car app, but he worked at Ford for like 10 years. And that's what made him want to start his card app or his car app. So that's what makes him qualified to be on this team and to start it. So definitely show your team. I think it's important. So we're going to show 2 example pitch decks from the Sacramento Startup World Cup from 2023 that I thought were really done well. So I thought they would be good to show. So the first one is Vael. Very clear. Like I said, this is the one that was white. And I like that on his first slide, he kind of put his business description. A privacy-focused advertising platform creating tomorrow's marketplace for consumer data. Love it. Great. I will say some of the formatting got off when I converted this to Canva, but his was really formatted well. Just want to give him some credit for that. His problem, right? I thought this was interesting because he shared his problem for 2 of his customers. I think this is really important, especially if you have 2 different customers. So you might have a product that can do B2C or B2B. So I think in your problem, you would say businesses, this is their problem. Consumers, this is their problem. So yeah, consumers, their problem. Businesses, their problem. Then he showed a demo of their app. So this is what it would look like from the consumer perspective. this is what it would look like from the small business perspective. Shared his value proposition. I love the icons. I love, again, very clear. Their value prop is empower, ethical, accurate, and compliant. So they empower users by enabling them to easily take control. They build trust through the ethical exchange. They gain accurate insights, increase ROI. I guess this could be also their solution. I will, if I had feedback for him, I think he should have been a little more clear in what the solution was, but I think this kind of can serve as a solution slide. This is what I was talking about: total addressable market, serviceable, available market, serviceable, attainable market. So the digital advertising spend worldwide is $62 billion. The spend in the US is $264 billion. And since he's focusing in Sacramento, the attainable market is 44 million. So he's showing, you know, there's an opportunity to tackle into this $44 million market to start, but we can scale, take over the world for 6,200 or 627 billion. So I will drop that HubSpot link in here about how you can calculate this. This, a lot of investors like to see this. He shared their go-to-market strategy. So they are going to incubate at Sacramento State. They're going to partner with small businesses and partner with local organizations, create a referral network. He shared their revenue model. So I guess they charge $240 a month for businesses, or there's a premier package that's $1,500 a month. So kind of showing how they make money. And this is his team slide. He had his face, his background, and why he's qualified to start this business. I thought it was really done well. I thought this was a very good pitch deck. So the next one was called EduRoute. So they shared their value proposition very clearly. Again, they have two different customers: students, universities. The problem is they're overwhelmed with complex course selection and academic paths. And so their solution is an AI-guided degree planner that acts as an older sibling, tailoring pathways to individual goals. That, oh, wow, I'm very clear. I know what the problem is. I know what the solution is. For universities, there is a declining enrollment rate. There's overwhelmed staff, misaligned expectations. So the solution is the EduRoute empowers universities to more easily acquire and retain students at scale. So it's hand in hand. I mean, from this slide alone, I know what EduRoute does. It's some kind of technology that guides students to graduate college, and that benefits the student and the university. Like, it's clear as day. I could walk away right now and know what they're doing. She shared their pricing and revenue model. As I mentioned, this was really interesting because this was last year, 2023. They were $0 in revenue, but they showed how they could get up to 4,000. So I thought this was really good. They did their cost of goods sold, their gross profit. I'll admit, I don't know what OPEX and EBITDA mean, but those numbers are increasing. So I'm gonna take that as a good sign. I don't know what it is, but I think this was also very straightforward. They showed that their licensing fee is $5,000 a month, and it would be $140K lifetime value for oh, thank you, Leonard. That's operating expenditures. I can't say that word today, but you know, I like that. So that's what that meant. And then they showed that it's 140K lifetime value. So look, that's one university. I'm an investor. I was like, dang, if we get all the universities in California alone, this could be a multi-million-dollar company, right? I'm seeing it. They did their competitive landscape. I love this visual because they have all the green check marks. I'm able to see how they compare to other schools, and I see all their benefits and their value proposition here. So that's awesome. Oh, okay. Thank you guys for clarifying that. And then EBITDA means earning before interest, depreciation, and amortization. So that's cool. Thank you guys. So it's a learning thing. We're learning together. So that was theirs. So very, very straightforward. So that is it. I definitely wanted to leave some time for Q&A in regards to building a pitch deck. So if people want to raise their hands again, and then let me know, I could share the screen again, but I wanted to make it more personal but I think we had some good examples. And again, just want to see, did anyone have any questions today? Yes, no, and it doesn't have to necessarily be about a pitch deck. It could be just about your company or the competition or anything like that.
I have a question.
Sure.
I wanted to know if you have any resources on where to go to get more, like if I'm trying to hone in on statistics. So if I need statistics to support, um, the research that I'm doing for the pitch deck so that I can make sure that I'm giving accurate information.
Oh, that's a good question. I don't know if anyone, Charlotte or Imelda, have feedback. I mean, I would say, Google is your friend, but when you do Google, a lot of times I think there's a lot of publications. So I think that's good, like different research studies. So I think it's always good to say a research study at this university found that this. So when you're searching, you can, instead of say statistics, you could say study on XYZ. So sometimes it's like the keywords of how you search that makes it a little easier. I said I also would say ChatGPT would be really good. Asking of like, hey, can you share some statistics? But then also asking a source on ChatGPT as well. So just making sure your sources are always backed up. And last thing I would say is thinking about what government agency like would support your problem. So for example, I have a career development company. So when I'm thinking about statistics that support my company, I would be looking at like the Department of Labor, right? Because that's who will give me a statistic on how many people are working, how many people are unemployed. So there is like a government agency. So, Department of Transportation, Department of Human Services, Department of there's a small business, SBD, small business division. So kind of think about that. And they always have statistics. So that's where I would say that. And I also, last thing too, is don't be afraid to do informational meetings. So I was in an accelerator and I was on LinkedIn, like DMing people. So again, I have a career development company. I was searching workforce development, just very blankly on LinkedIn. And I messaged like every workforce development person that was in Los Angeles. And I had about 5 to 10 meetings to just learn about their pain points and, would they hire a business like me? Like, hey, I'm Marley. I have a career development company. I feel like I would work with workforce development to do career workshops. Is this something that you guys invest in? Is this something that you look into? Where do you guys, what drives what you guys do fund? And so that could be a great way to learn. So I hope that was some helpful advice. Oh
Yes,
yes,
thank you.
McKinsey and Co is really good too. They did again for my career company. They released a report on workplace like statistics, and they release it like every year. And so I really use that. So yes, I'm glad someone dropped that. McKinsey and Co is a really good one. I used to actually work at Nielsen as well. They do a lot of research studies as well. All right, I believe Abiola is next.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Hi, everyone. Nice to meet you virtually. So, I am trying to pitch to investors for a bookstore. I'm a professional writer and editor. I know the landscape, the publishing landscape, but I'm not an accountant. I don't know the numbers. I know how much it is, the startup cost. So do you have like a template where people like me who are kind of numbers agnostic can plug in like our numbers, generate some sort of statistics for our potential investors?
I need to find it because Ali and Maya, don't get me wrong, but I feel like we shared something like this in one of our programs. There's a website where it does exactly that, Aviola. I don't have it off the top of my head, but
I can send it here in the chat. We've partnered with a company. Oh, wait, sorry. Can y'all hear me? Okay. We've partnered with a company called Forecaster, and they have like a free and paid version We also did a really awesome free webinar with them, similar to this virtually. I'll send the link in the chat as well, but they break down, their founder came in and broke down like all about how to use it, how to kind of use, like they have an Excel template, but then they also have like a paid version. But they talked about how you can like kind of what you're talking about, put in your information and forecast kind of like a couple years out, but then also it gives you like a whole financial sheet to fill out and things like that. So let me send the link to that webinar as well, because I know a lot of founders have found that helpful.
Thank you. That's super helpful. Thanks.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking about. That's a really great website. Same, I'm not really a numbers person. So, yeah, does anyone, Tatiana, did I see your hand raised? Anyone else have a question?
Oh, I have a question. So I'm a high schooler here at Polytechnic, and just
Hey.
recently my friend Minnie Ingersoll introduced me to Grid 110, and I've also applied for the Startup World Cup, and I do have some questions about how like I can really compete because like looking at everybody is like everyone's got experience in the field and like I'm just starting out, so how can I like form myself or write my application so that I could like be considered?
Yeah. Charlotte, do you want to take that? I feel like we were just kind of talking about this. But
Ah.
Jerry, I'll just start real quick with saying, by you showing up today is the biggest first step. I like
Thank you, thank you.
as a high schooler, that is amazing. You're taking time out of your
Yeah,
school day, your lunchtime to be on here. I am inspired by you. So that's awesome.
thank you for that.
Yeah, I completely echo that sentiment. And honestly, just getting started at the beginning here and trying and going to these things is really important because you'll learn it more and more. But just to give you a little bit of inspiration, one year we had the Mexico, the Startup World Cup Mexico regional winner was a high school student. I think he was like 16. His dad had to come with him, obviously, because he was traveling internationally. But this kid made an impression on everyone in the whole place. But he'd won the regional. He'd come up with a technology device that he was walking around showing that was the equivalent of you didn't need if you're blind, you didn't need the walking stick. It was a sensor thing. This was probably 2018. So it was a little bit before AI was part of everything. And the sensors were as advanced. So his product was super cool. And I think he ended up he didn't win, but he ended up getting a lot of investment because he met everyone in the whole place. I mean, he was just like so popular in what he was doing. So he didn't have all of the, data so much and all the things with it, but his technology was so cool. His enthusiasm was through the roof. And he was just really creative in the solution that he had come up with. So it is possible. It's just a matter of sort of using your unique abilities or showing your enthusiasm is important. Coming up with something that sort of is uniquely from your point of view is important because everyone who's in the industry already doesn't really understand the next generation. That always is true. So doing something that's sort of unique to you makes sense in showing why that matters. So, and even if you don't get selected, be part of everything until then, and they will remember you. And you'll be making connections that you need for the rest of when you sort of get to the point where you're able to really take off.
Thank you for that.
Sure.
Awesome. And I just want to mention too, whoever again wins, you're going to get connected with Charlotte and Imelda and the HumanBulb team, and they're going to support you and set you up for success for these pitch competitions. So you're not on your own once you're kind of in this realm of it. Like I said, also just again, use AI to make yourself as polished as possible. I think is also just something as important, no grammar mistakes and just confidence in communicating your business. So, Robin?
Yes. If you have certifications like you're, certified Black-owned business, B Corp, or anything like that, should you add that to the pitch deck? And if yes, where?
Yes,
Team
I definitely think you should. Also, honestly, kind of like on that first slide, name, a blah blah company, and then I would put those symbols at the bottom. Definitely, I think it's important on that slide or like maybe your team slide. Um, but I definitely think you should include that. I don't know if you
Okay,
want to
thank
add,
you.
Charlotte.
I agree. My recommendation, at least for Startup World Cup, is the put it on the team slide. It should be on there, but on the team slide is the best place to sort of present anything that's unique about you and your team, which is that. So
Okay.
yeah,
Okay, thank you.
sure.
Okay, do we have any more questions in the house? Okay, wait, I'm gonna see some in the chat. Um, okay, yes, I guess Charlotte, like a technical question. So at the Startup World Pitch, the regional one, how long is that? And do they need the pitch deck for that one?
So they are going to need a pitch deck. They're going to need a little couple varieties of it if you get chosen. So the regional for our Orange County LA one, there will be a pitch deck, and it'll be based on a 2-minute pitch, and it's a maximum of 8 slides. If you win that one, don't worry. That means you're on a good track, so you have time to figure it out. It's not until October. But at that point, you will be doing a 2-minute pitch originally during that first of the 3 days. And then you move on to, if you get selected in the top 10, you have 4 minutes to pitch. And if you are not in the final 10 during that one, you end up with a 1-minute pitch, which could be as simple as your logo and you talking, because it's 1 minute. So there'll be some variations, but for this, for April 30th, it's a 8 slide deck, 2-minute pitch.
Awesome. Thank you for definitely the number of slides. So 8 minutes, or sorry, 2 minutes, 8 slides. So you can, break that down. I don't know, what is that, like 30 seconds a slide or whatever. So definitely. All right, Robin, got another question?
Yes, I was just going to ask that 2-minute, 8 slides. Is that kind of like a standard, not just for you guys, but should that be a standard that we adhere to kind of?
Generally, yes, I think it's pretty accepted one way or another. It forces you to, like, even if you have a 4-minute pitch, eight slides is perfect. You're just saying a little bit more. 8 slides is enough to get all of your information that you need to have in there. People who have more than 8, they're not sort of focused enough on the main core material. So I think 8 is the right number. You can definitely have less than 8, but 8 covers all of the sort of topics that you really should be covering in a pitch.
Awesome. And then I just want to share real quick, because Ty had asked, what is on each slide. So this template is 8. So it's like the first one is the logo, second one is a problem, third one, solution, fourth one, business model plan, kind of explaining, what your company does, how you make money, traction, testimonials, clients, market size, so explaining the market, competitive analysis, and team. That should be it. Again, some of them, like maybe market size, you could swap that for something else, or traction, maybe swap that for something else. But definitely, obviously logo, problem, solution, business model plan, how your company works. And then this is if applicable, market size, I do think is important, sharing like what the market looks like. Competitive analysis, I think is important, because you don't want to seem like you don't know what else is out there. Team slide is very important. And that's it. And yes, so we will be sharing this recording and this deck out. So you will have the template.
Oh, and I wanted to add, based on that, the comparison slide, do not ever say we don't have any competition, because you're instantly ruled out if you do that. Because even if your product is so unique that you think like there's no other product out there like that. When you're talking to investors, they've seen everything and they know that, okay, even if your product is new, your competition is the old way of doing it. Like you always have competition. And I cringe every time I hear a startup say that, because I know that the investors are going, okay, this one's a novice. They have no idea what they're talking about. So don't, just know you do have competition. If you don't know who that is, think harder and look harder, because it's sort of a sign, like, and I hear it all the time, and because I've been doing this internationally too, and there are some companies that are saying like, oh, we're the first company ever to do this. And I'm thinking, no, I've heard like 3 pitches on this before. They don't know about each other necessarily, but like it isn't that new for sure. So it just means you haven't searched your area or industry enough to know who the competitors are. So, and ChatGPT is very helpful now, so you can do everything a little easier than it used to be, but just a Google search in general, really diving into it helps. But yeah, that one's the kiss of death. Don't say that.
Yes, that's such good advice. All right, we got 3 questions, and then I know we're kind of coming on time. So Tatiana.
Hey everyone. So I'm a solo founder. So typically on my team slide, I outsource my development to a team in India. I typically add them, but as of late, just in conversations, I have like been mentioning some of my mentors and advisors that are all like CEOs of VC backed startups. Is it okay to add them as well to my team slide, or should I just only add my development team?
Absolutely. And you should be. If you have prominent names or people with more experience, it's basically showing that these are your resources and people available. I mean, you wouldn't put them as team. You can put them as, so you don't want to misrepresent what you're saying. But if you're putting them as advisors, I see that all the time. And it's just a positive thing. It means that, oh, okay, people who are established in the industry believe in your product and you have these resources available. So yes.
Thank you.
Awesome. Okay, Robin.
I had a grant that I had to apply. I applied for, and they wanted a 2-page pitch deck. How do you handle that?
Grants are, I don't know, more
yeah, grants are hard. When you have just like an application or something, again, the most important thing, your problem, solution, how you making money. That's it. That's what I would put on those 2 slides. And we'll delve deeper there from there. Problem, solution, how you making money. Because that's what's kind of gonna get them. That's how they select the winner. So that would be my advice with that one. All right, Kubrat.
Hi, I put my question in the chat, but I'll just say it here. For the competition slide, what are investors trying to derive from that slide? What does that tell them in terms of like what kind of competition we put on there? Like, is there a difference between having a lot of competition versus no competition? Just curious to know what angle are they trying to get?
So, I mean, it's 2 things. They want to know, they want you to see that you know who your competition is once, and your understanding of the industry is part of it. And then they're trying to see, they're looking for how are you differentiating yourself from your competition. They want to see sort of what makes you different. First, you understand that they exist. You understand your market, and how are you different? How are you going to measure up? How are you going to differentiate yourself? That's really what that slide is about.
Thank you. That answers it.
Awesome, y'all. Tatiana, did you have another question, or your hand just still raised? Checking it. But okay, you guys, we're coming to the tail end, and I just want to just share another announcement. Again, to join us for the rest of the series. And as I mentioned, apply to pitch. The deadline, well, no. So we've already selected the people for this one, but apply for the regional one with Startup World Cup. That deadline is the 15th. Charlotte dropped it in the chat. So again, this process we'll be selecting one person to participate, but outside of this process, you can apply to participate. So we're encouraging you to apply. And this Thursday, we are having pitch practice, as I said, giving priority to those who were selected so they have some time to practice their pitch. But if we have time, we definitely want to give other people time to practice, and you'll be getting real-time feedback. Then we'll have the pitch competition next Tuesday. We'll have the 15 people pitch in order. Then we'll have our judges go into a breakout room and deliberate, and then we'll come back and announce the winner. And then from there, we'll connect you with the HumanBulb team, and then you will be pitching at the Startup World Cup regional competition on April 30th at UC Irvine. So thank you all for joining again today. And I even learned some things today, like some of those acronyms. So thank you guys for that. Thank you guys. So unless there's any more questions, we will hop off. Thank you guys again. As I mentioned, we will be emailing everyone this afternoon if you were selected to pitch. So thank you. I'm glad this was helpful for you all, and have a good rest of your day and afternoon.
Thank you. Have a good day
Thank
too.
you so much.
Thank you, everyone. Thanks, Marley.